500 BC. On a barren mountaintop overlooking the Valley of Oaxaca in southern Mexico, workers begin an impossible construction project. They're carving an entire city from stone, terracing mountainsides, flattening ridges, building pyramids 400 meters above the valley floor. This site is defensible, visible from everywhere in the valley, and completely uninhabited. Perfect for building Monte Albán, the capital that will dominate Mesoamerica for over a millennium. The Zapotec people, who call themselves the Cloud People because they dwell in mountain heights, are creating one of the earliest cities in the Americas. They possess sophisticated astronomy, original writing systems, and engineering abilities rivaling anything in the ancient world. For 13 centuries, Monte Albán will stand as Zapotec civilization's crown jewel. Then, mysteriously, it will be abandoned. The ruins remain today as UNESCO World Heritage testimony to a culture that built empires in the clouds. The Zapotecs didn't appear from nowhere. They evolved from agricultural communities that settled the Valley of Oaxaca around 1500 BC. The valley is Y-shaped, formed where 3 smaller valleys converge. Initially, these valleys were divided among separate societies with an 80 square kilometer no-man's land between them. Competition was fierce. Burned temples and sacrificed war captives suggest violent conflict. Around 700 BC, one settlement dominated, San Jose Mogote in the Etla Valley. By 500 BC, San Jose had over 1,000 residents and controlled regional trade. Then something dramatic happened. San Jose Mogote's population suddenly dropped. Simultaneously, a massive new city appeared in the neutral zone between valleys, Monte Albán. The pottery is identical to San Jose Mogote's. The people clearly relocated. Why abandon a thriving valley settlement for a mountaintop with no water source? Defense, unity, power. From Monte Albán's heights, Zapotec rulers could watch all 3 valleys simultaneously and project authority over formerly rival communities. Building Monte Albán required engineering genius that still amazes archaeologists. Workers moved millions of tons of earth and stone up steep slopes without wheels or draft animals. They carved platforms directly from bedrock. The Great Plaza alone measures 300 by 200 meters, larger than 4 football fields, flattened atop a mountain. Terraces surrounded the plaza, creating neighborhoods for 25,000 residents at the city's peak. Water had to be carried or channeled from distant sources. Sophisticated drainage systems prevented flooding during rainy seasons. Every stone, every terrace, every structure was positioned according to sacred topography, astronomical alignments, symbolic geography, religious cosmology. Building J, shaped like an arrowhead and oriented 45 degrees off from other structures, aligns perfectly with the star Capella. The building is covered with over 40 conquest slabs depicting upside-down heads of defeated kings and place names of subjugated regions. This isn't just architecture. It's propaganda carved in stone. The Zapotecs developed Mesoamerica's first known writing system. Monument 3 from San Jose Mogote, dated between 600 and 500 BC, shows the oldest confirmed Zapotec glyphs. A captive with his heart removed, accompanied by hieroglyphic text, possibly naming the victim. The script is logosyllabic, meaning each symbol represents either a concept or a syllable. It's read in columns from top to bottom, similar to Maya writing but cruder in execution. Some signs clearly indicate calendar dates using the bar and dot numeral system later adopted by the Maya, but most Zapotec writing remains undeciphered. We can identify numbers and recognize place names on conquest slabs, but can't fully translate their histories. The Zapotecs recorded their triumphs, religious ceremonies, astronomical observations, and dynastic lineages. We see the texts, we photograph the carvings. We just can't read them. It's like finding a locked diary from antiquity. Religion permeated Zapotec life. They worshipped a pantheon including Cochiho, the rain god, Kokihani, the light god, and numerous fertility deities. Elaborate tombs beneath elite residences held burials accompanied by spectacular offerings. Excavations at the Quilapan temple uncovered jade ear spools, obsidian blades, pearls, shells, and small bird bones, each material symbolizing different cosmic realms. Jade represented water and fertility. Obsidian connected to sacrifice and bloodletting. Ocean shells symbolized the underworld. Bird bones evoked the sky. These weren't random grave goods. They were carefully assembled cosmic maps, ensuring the deceased could navigate the afterlife. The tombs themselves were architectural marvels with vaulted ceilings, painted murals, and drainage systems preventing water damage. Some contained multiple chambers for family burials spanning generations. The most famous, Tomb 7, was reused by Mixtec elites centuries after Monte Albán's abandonment, and yielded over 300 gold objects, jade masks, turquoise mosaics, and pearls, the richest tomb treasure ever found in the Americas. At its zenith around 500 AD, Monte Albán dominated the Valley of Oaxaca and controlled territory extending hundreds of kilometers. The city had evolved through distinct phases. Monte Albán once saw initial construction and population growth. Monte Albán II witnessed military expansion, conquest slabs on Building J, record subjugated regions, including the Canada de Cuicatlan to the north. Monte Albán III marked the classic period peak, when architectural influence from Teotihuacan, the massive central Mexican city, became evident. Zapotec and Teotihuacano merchants maintained regular contact. Zapotec ceramics found in Teotihuacan suggest an entire Oaxacan neighborhood existed there, while Teotihuacan-style architecture appears in Monte Albán's later constructions. The two cultures exchanged goods, ideas, architectural techniques, and probably dynastic marriages. This was sophisticated international diplomacy operating across hundreds of miles. Then came the mysterious decline. Around 700 AD, Monte Albán began losing political preeminence. The population dropped. Construction ceased. By 850 AD, the city was largely abandoned. Why? Theories abound, but certainty eludes us. Climate change may have caused droughts, reducing agricultural productivity. Deforestation, cutting wood for construction and cooking over centuries, might have depleted local resources. Warfare with rival centers could have disrupted trade networks. Internal political conflicts between elite factions perhaps tore the state apart. Or maybe economic shifts made valley floor settlements more advantageous than defensible mountaintops. We don't know. Contemporary chronicles don't exist. The Zapotecs had writing, but we can't read most of it. The city's ancient name is lost. Monte Albán is a Spanish colonial designation. When Alfonso Caso began systematic excavations in 1931, he found a site that had been abandoned for over 1,000 years. The Zapotecs didn't disappear when Monte Albán fell. They shifted capitals to Mitla, about 40 kilometers southeast, which became the dominant Zapotec center during the post-classic period. Mitla is famous for intricate geometric stone mosaics decorating palace facades. Millions of precisely cut stones forming patterns without mortar. Zapotec communities continued throughout Oaxaca's valleys, maintaining language and agricultural traditions. But they never rebuilt Monte Albán. The mountaintop became sacred ground for ritual visits rather than permanent habitation. The Mixtec people, moving into Oaxaca from the northwest around 1000 AD, respected Monte Albán's sanctity, reusing some Zapotec tombs for their own elite burials, but not reoccupying the city. This Mixtec reuse of Tomb 7 created the spectacular treasure trove discovered in 1932. When Hernán Cortés conquered the Aztec Empire in 1521, Zapotec leaders watched nervously. Rather than resist the Spanish, Zapotec rulers sent delegations seeking alliance with this new power. Cortés dispatched Pedro de Alvarado to explore Oaxaca, searching for gold and Pacific ports. On November 25, 1521, Francisco de Orozco arrived in the Central Valley with 400 Aztec auxiliaries to claim the region for Spain. The Valley of Oaxaca, with roughly 350,000 inhabitants, submitted without major warfare. Spanish colonization disrupted Zapotec autonomy, but didn't erase the culture. Today, over 500,000 people speak Zapotec languages, a tonal language family where word meaning changes based on pitch. Zapotec communities maintain traditions, linking them to ancestors who built Monte Albán 25 centuries ago. Monte Albán today is one of Mexico's most visited archaeological sites. Over 400,000 tourists annually. Unlike Maya ruins at Chichen Itza, where climbing is forbidden, visitors can still ascend Monte Albán's pyramids and walk the Great Plaza. The view from the north platform shows the entire Valley of Oaxaca spreading below, exactly what Zapotec rulers saw when projecting power over subject peoples. The site museum displays carved stelae, pottery, and jade ornaments, though the most spectacular finds reside in Mexico City's National Museum of Anthropology and Oaxaca's Regional Museum. UNESCO designated Monte Albán a World Heritage Site in 1987, recognizing its universal cultural value. But the site faces threats. Urban sprawl from Oaxaca City, just 9 kilometers away, encroaches on territories with potential archaeological value. Forest fires have damaged buffer zones. Erosion threatens carved hieroglyphs exposed by excavations. The hieroglyphic inscriptions, already difficult to decipher, are literally weathering away. The Zapotec legacy extends beyond Monte Albán's ruins. They pioneered urban planning in Mesoamerica, developing cities centuries before the classic Maya. They created original writing independent of other Mesoamerican scripts. They engineered sophisticated water management, terraced agriculture, and astronomical observatories. Their religious iconography, particularly the bat god and rain deity Cochiho, influenced later Aztec and Maya pantheons. Even their name endures with romantic resonance, the Cloud People, dwelling in mountain heights where earth meets sky. From 700 BC to 1521 AD, Zapotec civilization flourished, declined, persisted, and finally submitted to Spanish colonization. But the stones remain, terraces carved from mountains, pyramids reaching toward clouds, conquest slabs proclaiming forgotten victories, tombs holding jade and obsidian for journeys to other realms. Monte Albán stands as testimony that great civilizations rose in the Americas long before Europeans arrived, that indigenous peoples built empires, developed writing, practiced astronomy, and created beauty that survives millennia. The Cloud People built their capital in the sky, and though the rulers are gone, their clouds remain.